Okay, so now we're going to code selection sort. We're going to pick up right where we left off in the last video with this array. I'm going to shrink it down into the corner here so we have room for our selection sort function. So we're going to pass this an array, and I'm going to create that min variable that we used in the last video, and then we're going to have our for loop. In this 6-item array, we only had to go through this 5 times. So we're going to have it run the length minus 1. So let's bring this back up here. I is going to be 0 when we first start. It's going to be that first item. So when we set min equal to 0, when we're walking through the example, we were really setting it equal to I. So the first thing that we're going to do is set min equal to I, and this is the I from the for loop. And now we're going to do our for loop that is inside of the for loop. So we're going to let j equal I plus 1. So I'm going to just bring this up. This was I. This is I plus 1. That's going to be j. So we're going to set min equal to I, which is, in this case, 0. Then we're going to say if the item that's at the index of j, if it is less than the item at the index of min, we're going to set min equal to j. So let's code that and bring our code back like this. It's going to be this if statement. If the value at j is less than the value at min, we are going to set min equal to j. So let's put this back like this. In this case, j is going to be 1. Then as that second for loop runs, j is going to move across the array like this until it finds an item that is less than the value that we have stored at the index of min. So in this case it is, so now we're going to make min equal to j again, which is equal to 4. And then we go to the end and we're done looping through the array for that first time. Then we set min equal to 4, and then we need to swap I and min. Then that item at the index of 0 is sorted, so I will color that green. So I'm going to shrink this down and add the code to be able to swap those two items after we run through the for loop like this. And this is similar to the swap that we did in the bubble sort, so I won't walk through this in any detail. But there is something that we need to add to this. And to illustrate that, I'm going to bring this back up. And on the second time through this, this is going to be I, and this is going to be j. Now you can just look at this and see that the 2 is going to be the lowest item there. So we're going to start out setting min equal to I, which in this case is going to be 1. And then the j is going to loop through the rest of the items, but nothing is going to be lower. So when this is done, min is 1, and I is equal to 1. So now we know the item at the index of 1 is in the correct spot, so I'm going to color that in green here. But what we don't want to do is run these 3 lines of code that swap I and min because they're the same item. We only want to run these 3 lines of code when I and min are not equal. So we'll wrap this in an if statement that says if I and min are not equal, then run these 3 lines of code. So let's bring back the rest of our code here. The only thing left to do is to return the array. But of course, once we get down to this line, we will have run through all of this and have a completely sorted array that looks like this. So we'll look at this code in a moment in Chrome DevTools, and we will look at the 6-item array that we started with that looked like this. So now let's flip over to DevTools. Okay, so there is our selection sort function, and we're going to run selection sort on this array here. And we'll zoom out and run this. And there is our sorted array. And that is our function for selection sort.